Welcome back to the podcast. On my podcast today is Ron Cruz of Ron Cruz Art. Peace, brother. How you doing?
Hey,
So let's get right into it. What got you into art?
I was born with the desire to like draw. And when I was able to see like what my hands can produce, it was, attractive. And so it was like this reciprocal thing. Like I did it and it fed me. And so it was like, it started like that. Like I didn't jumpstart it. I would say God gave me that gift.
Okay, or around what age was that for you?
I knew it for sure in first grade. I knew it for sure in first grade. There was an art contest, and I drew a realistic horse. I put a unicorn on him, and I submitted it. And when I did, they didn't believe I drew it
Mm,
because it was like like in the style that I draw now, like realistic. And and so that one drawing just really, as far as I can remember, I'm sure there was prior events, but not that I can recollect, like the when I could this one with the unicorn.
okay,
But I was in first grade, so I'm about six, maybe seven, because I got held back in first grade switching from public to parochial school.
okay, okay. So that was your first draw on a horse, and that you turned into a unicorn, or a horse that you gave a horn.
A horse that I gave a horn.
Okay, all right. And they didn't believe that you drew that. Of course, like they don't believe kids can do things like that, right? So as you're
I was a minority there. Most
ah,
most of the other students were, Caucasian, and so perhaps that had something to do with it. My older brother was a knucklehead, so um, maybe they kind of viewed me as like some mischievous kid submitting somebody else's art, trying to get the reward or whatnot. And so they asked me, so in front of my parents, I had my parents come in, and it was like, okay, he really drew that. Make him draw something right now. And so I started drawing stick figures and like a happy, like people have holding hands and just, smiley faces, simple. I didn't know that they wanted me to emulate the same thing that I had 3 days in my house to do. I had a reference drawing, which means I can look at the drawing, draw, look at the drawing, draw. From imagination, I'm not terrific. That's not where my strength is at. My strength is at like looking, analyzing, and reproducing. And
mhm.
so and so it was very different if you look at the arts. And I do abstract art. I don't just do hyperrealism. But that's to say that they didn't believe me, and they gave me like a participation reward. And my parents, kind of like huffed about it, and they were always at odds, the school, with my parents. And anyway, you know,
Yeah, I hear you. There's always issues with that, especially when you're coming up around people who don't understand you. I can relate to certain situations like that myself. Having a certain teacher that can't believe that you're really good at math and that you have to cheat off somebody else's test. Well, you couldn't be doing that. Well, you had to be teaching using someone else's paper, and then they'll fail you or whatever it is. So I totally get it. Where was this? Where was this early on? Where was this happening? Was this in New York or Chicago? Where were you at
I
when
was
this was
born and
going on?
raised in New York City, and this was in the Bronx.
Okay.
And so yeah, and it was back. I'm 47 now, so that was about 40 years ago. The school has since went out of business, shut down, like many Catholic schools have, and I would say for good reason. But you know, that story, like I think my parents held the entirety of the truth of the story from me. But I learned it later, and like I learned what the adults were talking about later, and because I remember I'm six, and I think that just motivated me. Like I never like was like I hated on. In fact, what that does now, if you look at my drawings, you'll see that they're, for the most part, all show the progress of it. Like I always show the stages, because if
Mm-hmm.
I just show the finished product, I don't want to have to go through. That's just a photo, or there's some cheating behind, or there's such and such. So I make it a point to do like time lapse videos, and I want to be more about that, because not just to prove, but to show and to teach. People can learn, as you do, rather than just to show them the finished product. So there's multi purposes why I show progress shots.
Yeah, I love when artists do that when they show the progression and the layers to everything that they did. It gives you it makes you feel like you were there. It makes you feel like you're a part of the process because you get to see the step by step of how you got to where you were, where the painting, where the drawing started, and then where it ended up, the finished product. Definitely.
Yeah, yeah. And and I think, I've been teaching now 15 years, and so it's also in my in my lifestyle, in a way where I don't just like produce. Like, for example, I taught math for 5 years, and I would always show how to get to, solve the problem, and so you do the steps. So it was always something I did, and I don't mind doing. I wanted to be a teacher since I was a kid, so I don't mind at all. In fact, I prefer to show than not show.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sure.
So you wanted to teach since you were a kid. What was the inclination that made you want to do that?
I think Miss Hamilton, this woman who was my sixth grade teacher, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. And she was really good to me, my friend, my best friend, Rashid Vitalis. And she just treated us so good, and wasn't like, you felt like true love, no discrimination, and encouragement, and like, how can I put it? Like, didn't hold back from, yo, bro, you don't do that, don't freaking roll up. Don't do that. Like, I was like, one time in sixth grade, I rolled up a dollar bill, and there was some chalk dust along the ledge, because they was
Oh
using chalk
man.
back then, not the dry erase markers. And I goofed around like I was, taking a snort.
Hmm.
And yeah, I saw it in movies. I was snorting cocaine. It's great. Nor do I now. But she just, gave me a firm, like,
Yeah.
what you doing?
Some discipline.
Yeah, another time she threw the eraser at me and the dryer, and I knew she meant well. So she encouraged me. I think she indirectly made me want to be like her, in a way, like I would make kids feel the way she made me feel.
Yeah. Salute to all the teachers out there, man, because that is a very hard job and a very tough job to do. I had a chance to do some substitute teaching years ago, and you find out that there are kids that really do want to learn, but you also find out there are kids that need some extra help. They need some extra discipline, and it's very hard on teachers. When you can't just teach the kids, but you have to be disciplinarians and babysitters as well. So teachers do
Yeah,
not get paid enough for what they do, man. They need to be rewarded correctly for that job.
yeah, especially the disciplinarian job. I mean, you're really there to teach a subject and the content, and to answer questions, and to, create this wonder in children, and this curiosity, and those, when that happens, it's like, I don't need to get paid for this. This is just fun. But a good portion of it, Matthew, is just a lot of like, I told you to sit down, why don't you, and just that kind of thing. And it's just, some kids are really just, um, want to be unteachable.
Yeah.
Like, no, don't teach me, I'll teach you, in fact. And so it gets to a point where, if your heart's not in it as a teacher, and you feel like you're going to hurt someone emotionally, or just, verbally, it's time to go. It's time
Yeah.
to go. And so that's where I was at. I was like, I don't want to get, you know, I don't want to get like snide with these kids. I don't want to get sarcastic, and I want to leave well. I want to leave, these kids love me, and they see me in the street, they hug me. I want to leave with a good legacy, and so now I'm teaching senior citizens, and I absolutely love it. Senior citizens meaning like people 60 and above. So that's really cool. It's just a few hours a week, and then the other hours I'm here in my studio producing, artwork, and I'm trying to make a life of it. It's a struggle because, you know, I only work 7 hours a week. The other thing is, I'm not always selling artwork. I wish I was, but I think all good things in time.
All good things, man. Like you said earlier, it's about if you don't love it, don't do it, and of course what we see from you is that it's something that you do love. So it's only a matter of time.
Yeah, you know what?
Sooner
It
or later
doesn't
you'll
even happen
reward
in
it.
my lifetime, Matthew. I'm gonna die trying, and I feel also that I'm not like being irrational, trying to fulfill that dream and make it to come to fruition. I don't think that's like irrational.
No, it's not. It's not. You're doing but you're doing what you love. You're doing what you love, and that's all that counts. So we as we're progressing, you 5 years old, 6 years old, you drew your first picture that no one believes. By the time you're in high school, do you know that art is definitely the thing for you?
I went to high school of art and design, and
Okay.
when I was in high school and towards the tail end of middle school, which is seventh, eighth grade, I was already getting into, puff puff pass and and women and well, not really women, but girls, um, and it was just my um how can I say, what I was attracted to changed. Like before I was attracted to, reading and doing excellent work and cleaning and music and drawing and then, when the cigarettes came along and weed came along and the girls became more appealing, my attention sort of shifted, and I didn't balance it well enough, because there's nothing wrong with, a little entertainment and fun, but imbalance, it can lead to just unwanted problems.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, well, everyone has to experience something like that, right? Before they find their true discipline and their true nature into what they want to do. So it
True,
happens. It
true.
happens.
It's some people don't bounce back from it. Some people just is a keep like a downward spiral. It's just like it doesn't. The plane don't take off. It just sometimes crash, and you see
Yeah.
like so much lost talent. Lives gone too fast, and so it's not like a sure thing that things are going to pick up.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm trying to be more, proactive about that, and not just sort of, like, again, to use that word happenstance, like it just happened. Like I want to be about that so that I can generate that.
Yeah. Well, it's just, it's also about, not only just doing the work, but getting out and being around that type of network where you can establish yourself as in the artist community, I should say. So,
Instagram has been monumental with that.
okay.
Like I'm up to like almost 65K followers, and so that network is a network I would never have. I should say never, but unlikely to have that kind of connection between myself as an artist and people who are interested. And so I'm very grateful for Instagram, and that's how I
Yeah.
network. But most times I'm just kind of like in my studio. I'm sociable, but I don't do that, like club stuff anymore. I did enough for several lifetimes.
Yeah, well, and it doesn't have to be like the club stuff, but just being out around the artist community and networking with others
True.
to make sure that you can, be around the sculptors or people that are using the same mediums as you do, and other artists like that.
You're right.
What made you choose Prismacolors?
I think I got introduced to it young, and the softness of it. If you use not Prismacolor Scholar, but you use the Premiere, which is a soft core, um, you once you experience that, it's like you can experience other stuff, and
Hmm.
you still have it in your mind, like, yo, that other stuff was good though. And so you keep, if you can afford it, you go back to it.
Yeah, Prismacolors are awesome, man. I remember getting my first set in high school, and I was hooked after that. Because you can use it like the crayon, but then if you press on it just hard enough, you can get that nice, fresh pastel, smooth
Yeah,
color on it. Yeah,
yeah,
it's a
yeah,
beautiful
yeah.
thing. And I think
Yo,
my before that, I think I had the spectrum colors or something. I think that was the other set.
I haven't heard of that one. That's a nice name though.
Yeah.
But luminance, like this layer up here,
Okay.
is more expensive than Prismacolor,
Oh,
and it's better. Better in not every way, but like pound for pound, like it got the edge, and
okay.
therefore it's more expensive. But once you use them, you'll see. And additionally, they work like super well with the Prismacolor. Like my latest three drawings have been a mixture of the two.
Okay. Okay. So they do mix well then.
Yeah, like perfect.
Okay. I'm curious about that because usually if I hear people say Prismacolors, they just stick to that. I didn't know that luminance was a thing that you could mix with them.
Now, I discovered this, I would say, let me see, 3 drawings ago, this woman, an artist, recommended this one to me. This is Derwent drawing from Derwent. That's the brand, Derwent. And this brand says drawing ivory black.
Mm.
This is the blackest black, the softest black. A must-have if you have Prismacolor, because Prismacolor black is super good, and you want to use it, because not this whole sweater is black, but you can see I wouldn't use the darkest black over here as I would, nothing's fully black unless you found a couple spots. But if you get those couple spots that are super duper black, this is the one.
Okay.
And it goes over everything because it's like so soft, like butter.
Okay. Okay. I forgot what the blackest black was. Astrophysicist told me. I forgot. It's Avant black or something like that. I forgot what it's called. But it's like those. It's so rich and dark and silky, man. It's a beautiful color. But yeah,
there was on Instagram too. This guy was promoting it, like the blackest black or something like that. But for color pencils, I would recommend that one. I think the other one is like a paint that you can paint on.
Okay.
But again, mine's is just purely color pencils, no paint. The only time I use a spray is at the very end. I use a clear spray to coat it.
Mm-hmm.
And what that does is it keeps the colors from fading, protects it from UV lighting,
Yes.
and it prevents wax bloom. People who use color pencils like Prismacolor made out of wax, over a few weeks, there's this layer that builds up, and it's like cloudy. It's like film. It's on the white side. And so that coat of wax bloom over some blacks or whatever colors dilutes your work, and it's non-intentional. Like, you don't want that to happen. You didn't plan for that to happen. And so to prevent that from building up, the wax bloom, spraying it is another reason that one should spray.
Mm-hmm.
And lastly, I want to say this about the spraying too. I use matte spray, which means it has no shine at all. And what that does is it allows you to view the artwork from different angles without having like a glare, like the light glare. So matte, I coat it with that.
Okay. Okay. Did your parents draw? Were they in the artist field?
My mom was a beautician her whole life. My brother's a barber. My dad was like a politician, but like active, like he would do stuff around the house and make it look cool. But no, my dad took me to like art shops, growing up, buying oil paint, because I always watched Bob Ross on television, and he's the guy with the big afro, Happy Trees.
Yeah, yeah.
And so like that was something that I liked, to do, using oil paint and canvas and that kind of thing. And he supported that, and that was cool. And I try to do that with my children and my students, like provide them with the tools and resources.
Did you see the Bob Ross documentary? I think that was on Hulu or Netflix.
Yeah, it was good. The one on Mr. Rogers was even good too.
I have to see the one on Mr. Rogers, but that one on Bob Ross, man, to see what ended up happening to him and the way they kind of like pushed him out the way of everything just treacherous. The way they did it, it's pretty treacherous. So we move on to you. When did you decide to start creating a name for yourself on IG? Did you just say, I'm just gonna throw my art up there and just go from there? Whatever happens, happens.
I had drawn this pigeon. I like birds. I like pigeons. I feed them in the park, and I have birds at home and stuff. And so I drew this pigeon, and it turned out nicer than I was sort of expecting in a way. And so people were like, who knew me and had seen it, suggested that I reach out to like Staple. And I was like, I never heard of that. And have you heard of Staple Pigeon?
No, not at all.
Oh, it's a clothing brand. And I did, and they asked me if I had social media. I think this was back in 2017. And so I opened up an Instagram account just to upload that one painting that I was hoping that, they have an interest in and purchase. We wound up doing some business together, so that was cool. And they promoted my work on their page, and they had, over 200K followers. So it created some momentum, and that sort of was like, I was teaching full time, going to school at night. And so I had hardly time to draw, but I had the summers off. And sometimes I would just, keep myself busy, painting, that kind of thing. And so from 2017, when I got Instagram, and I'm also teaching art. But when you teach art, you don't really have time to create art. So anyway, I don't want to deviate too much, but I think I answered your question, right? And then some.
2017. Yeah, that's when you started creating. From creating that account, getting up to 65,000 followers, how many have you had good success with doing commission work? Or do you
I've only
even
done
take
two commissions,
commission? Okay.
only two. So I mean, I would call it good because one sold for like 15K and the other one sold for 10K. So that's good.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd rather not take commissions because I'm afraid that the money may entice me to do something I don't really want to do. And I
Mm.
don't. So the reason I took those two commissions, because I've been offered other, opportunities, but it was like a retro shoe. The mags was, and I liked that. And I was talking about Back to the Future and a lot of things connected that made me say yes to that one, and that was cool. And then the Skunk Dunks, 420 sneaker. You know about that sneaker?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, that went to a weed museum in New York City, first weed museum, and they, you know, reached out to me and asked me if I wanted to draw the sneaker, and I was like, yeah, I like it. I like that sneaker. It's a cool sneaker. It's decent money, and that happened. But only two commissions.
Only two commissions. So you're not interested in trying to do more? I understand you saying you don't want to be enticed to do something that's not that you don't love, but at the same time, just doing commissions period. I'm sure there's something out there that you might want to do.
Yeah, I mean, there's things that I sort of like wish for, like I wish that I could do something with like Curry's shoe that he would be like, yo, Ron, I would like for you to such and such, or some of that caliber who I don't feel like I have to always shortchange myself on what I'm trying to sell my work for because money's not that kind of a issue with it. But if I'm spending 2, 3 months on a piece, like, you know, I don't want less than minimum wage at least. And if you do the math on minimum wage per hour, what I spend on my drawings, they wind up in the thousands. So it's not like I'm just saying, oh, I'm mad nice. Give me, I'm doing the math too based on numbers. In fact, I'm already getting minimum wage. So it's not like I'm trying to like, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. Art.
I do
Uh,
print sometimes. I do print, so I don't really have to deal with. I'm just trying to cater to the high end folks, and I do prints when I have them, and I sell them for $100 or sometimes two for 100. And they
okay.
dope. They look just like the real thing. They're signed and numbered. Comes with a certificate of authenticity. Comes with a sticker. And I put a lot of love into it. So, but I don't. I'm sold out, so that's cool.
Are you a fellow sneakerhead?
Uh I like like attractive things. Okay, and it turns out the attention that sneakers get because athletes are running in them and these are just VIP athletes, so they put a lot of like mental power into those things more than I would say any other accessory, and so that I'm attracted to, like, wow, if you learn about the sole in the Air Force One and why it's circular, it helps them pivot and that kind of thing. And so that, I don't know, I just appreciate the artistry. I appreciate the level of thought and creativity that they instill in these things. And so that kind of makes me a sneakerhead.
Okay. All right. What's your favorite pair of sneakers that you have?
Oh yeah, for sure. The black patent leather Jordan 1s. I have a couple pair of those. And they go with everything. I get compliments on them all the time because it's just so good looking. Since they're like a deep black and they're super wet, shiny. It looks like you see yourself off of it. It's never just black. You get all of these sort of, colors that move since it's patent leather. It feels like you're just like a superhero or something.
Yeah, those first what 11 to 12 pairs of designs that they did for Jordan and his shoes were probably the best shoes ever, man.
Yeah. The
They could
20 was dope. The 20 was dope. It had some patent leather in it too.
okay.
But the 20 is dope, the
Yeah, I
XX.
don't think I don't think I went past either 12 or 13. I don't think I got a shoe after that. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I don't think that I ever could afford them. Like, some shoes now I cannot afford. Like my process is I take my camera and I take a picture of the shoe. I do all the fancy lighting. I make it look good with the contrast and the angle. Take a picture. I
Mhm.
put the picture on my screen, and then I start just looking at drawing, drawing, and but it starts with a shot. So I gotta have the shoe to shoot. Like I don't want to draw somebody else's shot. And so sometimes there's a shoe I want to draw, but I can't afford it. So that's one good thing about networking too. Like somebody who knows somebody, and that's cool.
Yeah, that has to be a really good thing where you can walk into a sneaker store and tell them, hey, can I take a couple photos of that shoe
That
so I
hasn't
can?
happened yet. I don't got
No,
that kind
you haven't done that
of
yet. I thought you'd have done that by now,
it's
man.
usually like a friend of a friend, like, and I have a couple of friends that collect sneakers. Some people have like warehouses, but um I can't always get what I want. I want to draw so bad right now, Matthew, but there's nothing on my canvas, like there's nothing here
Yeah.
on the drawing board because I want to draw 3 sneakers that I can't afford. Believe it or not, they only cost like $400,
Mm.
but I can't afford them. And so I gotta wait and do other creative things to keep my mind from going, south.
Who are some of the top, or not top? Who are some of the artists that you like to pay attention to?
That's tough, bro. Because I want to say I'm in the lead. So I don't like looking back too much, because that might slow me down. But based on what I've seen,
Mm-hmm.
I'm in the lead.
Okay.
So I'm not really paying attention. There's this one artist that draws sneakers too, and I look at it, I'm like, nah. Like it's like, yo, that's the G League, bro.
Mm.
I'm an all-star in the NBA. What are you doing? So that can get out of hand. But truth be told, I'm in the lead.
Okay. So you're not so okay. So what
In
inspires?
all fairness, Matthew, pardon the interruption. In all fairness,
All
if
right.
you find someone on the Instagram or on anywhere on the internet that in the medium that I use, color pencil,
Mm-hmm.
the content that I draw sneakers, if there's someone better, like please let me know. Because not that I want to knock them down. I like looking up too. Like I like Kobe Bryant, I like Michael Jordan, I like Steph Curry. Not that I'm competing athletically basketball with them, but I like being inspired by greatness.
Yeah.
I read the whole Mamba mentality, and that was terrific. It just helps you think like a stronger person. So it could be art. Like I have this artist this that I love, but he draws watercolor. But he blows me out the box in terms of his understanding of color. Like I'm a master. First of all, there's like novice, like amateur and expert, and then like master. I'm a
Mm-hmm.
master. But then there's grandmaster, and there's like special grandmaster, and then there's like a wizard. This dude is, I would say, like super grandmaster, like almost hitting wizard. He's older, but I think you have to be that old to get, unless you're a real, like, what they call those people, savant or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're born, they can play the, like
So
1 year old.
so that would be a person to be inspired by then, right?
Oh, and I am. Yeah, no, don't get me wrong. But in the work that I do, like I thought you was asking me like in my,
No, no,
in
not
my
not 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 in what you do, just overall. Like who do you look at and say, man, this guy's inspiring, or I like the work
oh,
that
this
this guy
one guy
does.
from Nigeria, Orenze Stanley, he does powerful pieces. Let me show you what his piece is. This is a print. This ain't the original, but and this is drawn in pencil.
Oh man, that's crazy.
That inspires me. He's a great person too. He's a terrific, wonderful person, the artist. Let's see, is that him? That might be him, actually. Yeah, that might be him. He does some self-portraits, but oftentimes he draws other people, and they're very strong, 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 strong pieces.
Yeah, that's a strong one. I like that one. I like the expression on that one. Yeah, it's who inspires you. It doesn't have to be in the same field as you, you know.
Oh yeah, for sure, those guys, and they are better at their craft than I am in mine. And
Mhm.
so, and I know that, and there's people who are much better at their craft in regards to art than I am. So don't misunderstand me on that aspect. It was more so like color pencil. That's got to be one. Like, to be fair, you got to be in the same medium. And then the second thing is, to do a fair comparison, it got to be footwear, because sometimes people draw portraits and they get into the pores and they do all those little hairs, and that's cool. And there's some really great people who do that as well. But I would say for color pencil, I'm probably in the top 5 on that I know of in the planet. And in terms of like the content that I draw, like I think I'm in the lead. I haven't seen better.
And you do a really good job on the detail. Your detailing is very good. I was watching how you were using the X-Acto knife and shading in as well. I was like, man, this dude is very meticulous, and I appreciate that. I appreciate what you do.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I
So
don't mean to come off as pompous, but I'm just trying to keep it as real as possible.
no, I don't mind it. I don't mind it. You got to speak things into existence, or you got to speak them as they are. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't mind
Yeah.
that. I don't mind that. I think I'm good at what I do. Say what?
Like, you don't got to rehearse the truth, it's just like, it's just,
You just say it. You just speak it. Like
yeah,
I
yeah.
think I'm good at what I do, and I'm only gonna get better. So
What do you do?
I do this podcast, but I also work for a living as well. I work in finance.
Okay.
Yeah,
And you saying you like good in finance and the podcast, or you feel like there's one that's better than the other?
I'm good at the what I do in finance too. They'll tell you that. People will tell you that.
Yeah, and you said your math teachers thought you were cheating because you're so good in math. So I'm sure you're pretty good in finance.
Now, I'm all right. I do well, but this is the one of the other things that I would like to be good at as well too.
That's cool, man.
Absolutely, absolutely. The amount of guests that I've started to get at the curiosity and intrigue from different guests like yourself and others who I've had on here have sparked my interest in doing this more and more, and it just continues to grow, and I'm pretty proud of that.
Yeah, and I'm trying to just share my time with you and give you as much as I think that I should share. I'm not sure who your audience is. I don't think that my audience probably will see this unless it gets out some way and it's known and they use some clips for whatever reason.
The
But
clips,
I
yeah,
hope that
I'll clip it up. It'll turn into clips and all type of stuff later on.
cool, cool, cool. And I hope I'm helping someone. Uh, you know,
Do you plan on teaching like a course of your own?
I was fixing to, and I got all these cameras and lights, and that's why some of this place is like lit the way it is. I got this light over here, I got this light over here, and I bought an extra camera and a mic and all this other stuff. I don't have a mic now, but I was like, yo, I taught for so many years in the classroom. Do I really want to? And I don't think, for me, I live by anything worth doing is worth doing well. And I don't like having that on my shoulders that I did some mediocre stuff. So I don't see me really having that kind of course. I can do this, and I can give tips, but
Mm-hmm.
I can teach seniors, but I kind of rather, be able to fly like this. Yeah, I lose you.
No, I'm still here. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
There we
but oh
go.
no, oh, it came back. Oh, I see what happened.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what that was. It just knocked me out or whatever. So, uh, yeah, it's fine. Yeah.
You get
Uh, being from New York, how much of a Knicks fan are you?
I want to be a Knicks fan, but I don't try to waste my time. Like I've been paying attention lately to Jalen Brunson. He wears the sneakers I drew recently. Josh Hart is another one. He wears the sneakers that I drew a lot. And sometimes I'm interested in a player just for odd reasons, like Manu Ginobili, because it reminded me of Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant a little bit, the way he moved and same height. But Knicks don't really like they don't do it for me like the Warriors or San Antonio did or the Mavs do or like I like players too, and I follow
Mm-hmm.
them like Tracy McGrady. If he's on, I'll watch him and like that. Like when Michael's on the court, I was really watching the whole game. My eyes was just like on him. So it's like a lot of players that I like.
Yeah, that guy ran the game when he was
I
around.
like Randolph when he wants to play, because he could just if he decides he wants to turn it on, he can just like easy 40 on you. What like nightly, but he's a little passive sometimes, man.
You talking about Randall?
Yes, yeah, Julius. Yeah.
Um, I would like to see him do more scoring in the paint and then to the outside. You know, if he built his game around going 17 and then going outside, like a mixture of things, you know, he could be a lot more dominant, or maybe they just don't run that type of system for him. But um, I would like
And
to
you
see that from him because you know he has what seems to be like a bully game where he could just take over games a lot. But I
Not if
don't.
he plays Zion Williams. Did you see that game when he played Zion Williams?
No, I didn't see that. I didn't see that one.
Oh, he was getting bullied the whole game. It was like, oh wow, they let him live through this. But that made me see Julius Randolph a little bit in a different light, man. I was
Okay.
like, and I see him in person. Another one of my friends, he's a real good artist. He does art out of wood, and he submitted the artwork to Julius Randle, and big dude, nice guy. I want to like him, but I don't know. You a
With
Knicks fan?
their no, no. I'm from Chicago, man. Don't do that.
Okay, okay.
Don't do that.
Well, Chicago's got a history against the Knicks. If you know,
Yeah, we got a pretty good history against you guys. It's pretty
yeah,
awesome.
no doubt.
Some great games, great rivalry, really
How
great
long have you been
rivalry.
in Chicago?
Hmm?
How long
How long
have
I
you been in
what?
Chicago?
36 years of my life, 35 or 36 years of my life.
Was that the entirety of your life?
No, I'm in my 40s.
Okay. I'm in my 40. Come on, bro. How old are you?
42.
Okay.
Yeah, I
That's
don't
good.
mind saying it. I don't mind saying it. Like, but yeah, I lived in different
You don't mind
spots.
showing it too. Look at you.
Nah, man, I love this. I love this shit. Hey, at one point in time, you know, there are several people that would tell you we didn't think he would make it to be this age. You know, I had a little bit of a problem out here. So, to make it to this age and be where I am and be around people who made it with me, you know, it's a beautiful thing. You know, and now we're just cherishing every day and living each day and loving each blessing that comes with it. So it's an awesome thing.
Cool.
Yeah,
I'm
really,
with you
really,
on that. I'm with you on that for sure.
yeah, really enjoying it. You know, life is so much different when you're not angry at the world and you're not angry at people for no reason. You know, you kind of look at things differently and you talk to people differently, you know. You see things through a different lens when you're able to process and it's not misplaced anger. Like you're able to talk to people differently and you're able to get with other people and network and there are people that can actually help you out instead of you being so upset that you turn people off just because you are angry. So life is so much better, man. I'm so appreciative of these moments again, sitting here talking with you and learning different things about your art and everything else that I've been uh, blessed to see and be a part of. So it's awesome. And being a part, you know, part of the artist community as well. Some of my friends, Michael Coppage, Vita Shell, Kenyon Billups, and so many others that are part of Stacy McKinney that are part of the artist community. So it's a wonderful thing, man. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying everybody's success and I'm enjoying my own success at the same time. So it's a blessing for me, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what I haven't done is people keep telling you need to have kids, you need to have kids, man. If that happens, that happens. If it don't, it don't, you know. So having nieces and
Well,
nephews is cool as well.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, I had my first kid at 19 and
Okay.
um, it was deliberate, but the marriage didn't work out and he's 28 now and we cool, but if it doesn't like you should really have it with some, I don't know, man. My other two kids I have with my wife now, I've been with 21 years and that's good, but
Yeah, I've always, and that was one of the things I've always said. I want to be a very responsible situation where me and the person have agreed that this is what we're gonna do, and we're not just gonna be in a relationship, but there's gonna be a business partnership, a companionship, friendship. Like we're gonna have to really get to know each other and build and be able to fight through the storms together. So it's just not something I just want to be shacked up with somebody and just knocking out babies or whatever.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
It should
this
be deliberate too. It should be, I don't know. If you can help it, it should be on purpose.
absolutely, and this life is hard as it is on people, you know. So you don't want to be stressed out, and bogged down to something that is already just you're already working, trying to provide a living, but you don't want to be in a situation where it just doesn't work out.
Yep. Not if you can help it, right?
Yeah, I would rather be with somebody long term than something short just because of a moment, a fleeting moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Are you a book reader?
Um, I would say I am a book collector,
Okay. Okay.
but I don't read as much as I want to. This is a terrific book, though. One of my students, 98 years old, recommended this book to me.
Colored
Um,
pencils.
and and I'm like, in my mind, I'm thinking, I'm the master of colored pencils. I ain't gonna learn nothing here. In my mind,
All
I was
right.
blown away on page one, two, three, four. I've been blown away almost every page. Terrific. I really recommend it.
And that's probably why they recommended it to you as well. Because it was like, well, you're good, but there's still things that you can learn.
Yeah, and that's one of the beauties of having senior citizens as students, having a 98-year-old, 94-year-old. And these are like not nursing homes. These are like senior centers where they have different activities, yoga and computers. I teach them computers as well, like different groups of people. But working with that age, that you pick up on some of their wisdom and it's very humbling.
What's is there a certain sculpture or person or painting person or sculpture that you would like to draw a certain image?
Well, I did draw a sculpture. I drew David by Michelangelo
Okay.
on the New York Post when they collaborated with Supreme. And I drew that statue, which took me 50 hours just on the hair alone.
Just on the
Um,
hair?
yeah, but yeah, I drew a statue. And then I drew him holding some Chicago's. I'll put it up on my page. I should put it back up on my page.
I think I seen that one with Kobe on there, which
Yeah, that was
was
a whole
beautiful.
series. I did like 12 of those.
That was beautiful, man.
Thank you. I did
Uh,
MLK, I did MJ, I did John Lennon, I did Luke Skywalker, I did C3PO and R2D2, um, Barbara Kruger, J.R. Smith.
oh wow.
Yeah,
When
that
you
was
choose, how do you choose your art? Like, do you just pick one? Do you know what you're looking for? How does it happen for you when you're choosing your art, your
uh
subjects?
I would say most time it chooses me in a way, and I just sort of like gravitate towards it. Sometimes, like for example, I want to draw the copper foam posits or the copper flight posits. I want to draw the Nike Air Max Plus Hyper Blue. And I could have a few more I want to say, but the point is like the color, the shape, the angle that I had it, and I had it because I liked the way it looked. So a lot of that is because like I like the way it looks. Like I have to find it attractive. I try to draw the panda dunks, but the leather on that is so cheap. I was like, nah.
The
At
Panda
least it,
Dunks. I stay away from those, but anyway, yeah.
yeah, I do too. But Air Force Ones was another sneaker I thought was like, that's kind of like, why is everybody rocking these, Air Force Ones? But I I bought a pair. I knew I was not going to wear them. So I bought my wife's size and I shot them. That's why I bought them to shoot them because I had to have the shoe. And then I gave it to her and I learned from drawing it that wow, no one I see the hype now. But the quality of the shoe was good. The Panda Dunks, I shot it and I couldn't draw it. I was like, whack leather.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think I don't, ain't no think. I do not have a pair of the Pandas at all.
How about Air Force Ones?
No.
Ever?
Ever? Yes. I used to have a gang of those, but then it becomes a thing where okay, everybody has that particular shoe. So let me get away from that and to get off into something different, like a Presto, a Nike Presto or something like that. So that became one of my favorite shoes.
How about these days?
Uh
Still the Presto?
no, the Dunks, SB Dunks.
Which like colorway?
Two of my favorites are the crab, the white and the crab orange, and then
Okay.
they all orange. I'll show them to you. I'll send you pictures of them.
Oh, is that the one they put the rubber band around? They put the rubber band around the nose of the sneaker. It comes with a rubber band around. Did it come with a
no,
rubber band?
no,
Okay.
no, no. I'll
There's
send you a picture of them.
these crab dunks that they sell them with the, because they're on the real crabs, you know how they put the rubber band? So
Yeah,
the
so they don't open up the claws up and
yeah,
pinch.
so
Yeah,
they sell the sneaker like that too.
I didn't know about that one. That's pretty dope too. I had to look into that. But yeah, I'll send you a picture of what I'm talking about. You'll be like,
Okay.
oh,
And then the
those are
second
pretty.
one,
They're both I think SBs, Blazers or something like that, or the Dunks. And they're like the crab color. They're crab colors.
both of them?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And that color's
One,
like a what? Peach, oatmeal, what?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Okay.
like a salmon color or something like that.
Yeah, yeah, okay, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah. Two of my favorite pairs. What else? Um, I have a pair of what is it? Cherry wood and gray. Uh, what are they? MJ's first shoe, the first one that he did, cherry wood,
Mhm.
and those are one of my favorite shoes as well. So yeah.
I got a couple sneaker books that like I have a pretty vast library. Like I
Mhm.
said, I like to collect books, but I really had to go in some. Not all of them have I finished, but some ones that I'm really looking to get into is the Ultimate Sneaker Book, um, and Soul. But I want to get more and really read them and just really grow my knowledge about the things that I want to learn about. Just sometimes I find myself, you know, pivoting and doing something that's not really fruitful.
Is that something that you would like to get into, like doing a sneaker collab with one of the designers, shoe designers?
The guy who drew Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, and Kevin Durant sneakers just reached out to me on Instagram a few days ago, and he said, first he followed me, and then he said, "You do amazing work." And I said, "Wow, just the fact that you followed me was big. Thanks for the compliment."
Mm-hmm.
As well, of course, brother. Let's think about a collab, and so that might lead to something.
It should.
Or might not. But
It
he's
should.
like pretty notable, and that would be cool. The guy who designs LeBron James, Kevin Durant, and Kobe Bryant sneakers. What? Not all of them, but a good many, especially LeBron James.
Listen, the fact that he reached out to you says a lot. So I'm quite sure in the future you guys will be teaming up to do some good work. And I can't wait to see it. I look forward
Oh,
to seeing it. I'm not gonna say I can't wait. I look forward to seeing it.
cool.
Got to be careful of the words that you put out there.
You're right. You're right.
Got to be very careful of the things that you say. We are casting spells when we speak, so you got to be very careful and knowledgeable.
You're right. 100%.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Um, what about t-shirts? Would you ever do t-shirts, t-shirt designs?
I did the Chicago ones on a T-shirt. I didn't do it, but there was a company reached out to me, and they was wanting to do like prints of my work, and they took care of the cost, and they send me the products, and I signed them, and they did shirts, and they send me one, and it was cool. Um, but like I'd rather just do like, let me show you this real quick. You can see this. Okay, so yeah, something like this, like it's just, art,
Mm-hmm.
like fine art. I'd rather just stick to like fine art and
Okay.
not. I try to do stickers, and I always like try to sell them like $5, $4, and that was cool. But now I just give them to people, or I include them in the print. Like, I don't know. I'm learning as I go.
What's the biggest piece you've done in size?
Uh, Probably. Let's see. Let's see. I think it might be because the page may be the same. Okay, like let's say you working on a page, 100-inch each side. You do a little dot in the center. versus somebody using all of the space.
Mhm.
But on average, about this size, 22 by 30. I'm going to turn off this light here. Hang on one second.
Do your thing.
This is going to cast some color that is unintentional and make this a little brighter. This probably is my largest. You're
Okay.
gonna see how big it is as compared to me. You know, or stuff in the room. Yeah, because that look at this one is about the same size. The next one I'm going to show you. But I think it fills up less of the page. Yeah, so I think the Kobe's.
That
I
Kobe
try to
shoe
go.
that you that Kobe shoe that you drew is nasty, man.
Thank you.
It's nasty.
Thank you.
Both
Yeah,
of
if
them
you can
are good
I
though.
don't see this in person, but there's some lines on the fabric. It probably gets blurred. I'm not quite sure how clear that's coming in.
Very clear. That's so crazy.
And then I draw blurry too. Not everything is sharp. Like my style, let me show you one that's very enhanced just to make the point. Yeah, this one here.
So when you're showing them, I'm just gonna shut up and let you talk. That way people can actually see and view it. All right.
So, like for example, on this one, this whole shoe is blurry. It's not sharp. And like this part of the shoe here is blurry. And this is sharp. So, like it's drawn sharp. I don't know if the camera could handle it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, sometimes the camera is poor quality or the Wi-Fi or the pixels or whatever. But in real life, this is real sharp. And what that does is it makes it look more three-dimensional. It makes it like this is coming out, like this is really in the background. But the truth is just it's all just a thin sheet of paper. But to make that perception, you know, that's by not drawing clear and drawing blurry and stuff.
You
And
did
so
a
the
very good job. You did a very good job on that.
thank you, I appreciate that. And so the Kobe's I made like sharp here, and then over here it's like blurry because it's going away from you. And so that gives it like that 3D effect.
And that's coming because of the camera that you chose, that you use,
Right. So
right?
when I'm shooting them and I'm staging my shot and I'm like, you know, I got all my lights and all this other stuff with my cameras and lens and stuff. I'm picking like, hey, do I want to have when I'm shooting the shoe, do I want to have like some light on it or color or, you know, fix the lens so that not everything is in focus.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, take like maybe a few shots and hopefully something hits right.
The detail that you did on that Kobe, man, that's crazy. The lines that are in between, that's nasty, bro.
You know what helped, Matthew? I read the Mamba mentality the whole time. What
Mm-hmm.
helped is that he like he lived like that. You know, he was just like this overachiever, like really, you know, obsessive. And when you are that way at your craft, it really you get like Michael Jordan's, you get like LeBron James, you know, you get Curry's and the Joker and many others. But it's not so much like skill. It's more like heart and like using your heart with your skill.
And
Yeah,
work ethic too.
100%,
I would like to think is work ethic
100%,
because
100%.
to detail that in all of the other art that you've shown, it takes a lot of time and effort and energy to do that. How long did it take you to do that, Kobe?
You know, I stopped counting. I used to try to count hours. I used to try to count weeks, but when it passed like the month, you know, I was just like, all right, it takes about 2 to 3 months. And when I
Okay.
say that, you know, on average, I work maybe like 30, 40 hours a week on my pieces. So times months. Yeah. But you gotta love it. If you don't love it, like you probably are going to be miserable. I was a little miserable doing a few areas of some sneakers. I was like, oh, this is so humdrum, it's so mundane. Like there's no variety. It's just like the fabric on the mags. That
Mm-hmm.
was just driving me mad.
When you
And
when you
that,
get to that point, say it again.
and that was a commission piece. So that's why I try not to take commissions, because if you don't really love it, you're not going to really enjoy it like that.
Gotcha. When
You
you
were
get to
saying?
that point where it starts to become where you getting stuck or you're getting frustrated, do you ever just step away from it and go to something else?
I'm like ADD, so I'm always stepping away. It's hard for me
Okay.
to spend like 5 consecutive minutes doing it. So I'm either organizing or checking the gram or fixing the apartment or, playing a game of chess or, um, something. So all the while, I'm usually listening to music or podcast or, or reading or scripture or something. But yeah, I got to keep my mind like,
Okay.
and I need the variety. I can't have like the same. It drives me nuts.
Okay. All right. Do you have a website or anything that we need to know about?
I do, but I don't have it up because I'm out of prints.
Ron
Yeah, but when I have prints, I put roncruzart.com, and
Cruz
that
Art.
allows people. I've never sold my originals through my website. It's always like direct, but I got to be more about that and learn more and read more how to be a better artist. And hopefully I could be like more professional, not just do like dope work, but be a well-rounded artist
On the business side.
on the business side.
Yeah. Okay. All right,
Yeah,
ladies and gentlemen, this is my interview with the one and only Ron Cruz from Ron Cruz Art.
thank you.
I appreciate you taking the time out to do this interview with me. This has been awesome. I appreciate the art that you have and the skill and technique that you use to create it. Is there anything that you would like to say before we get off here?
Anything worth doing is worth doing well.
And there it is. Ladies and gentlemen, with that said, I will say this. Remember the mission statement when you're striving for greatness. God never puts you in the driver's seat if it's taken. We are done here. Thank you, Ron.
All right, Matthew, stay well, brother. Thanks for
Yes,
this.
sir.
Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.